seemingly
Maybe.
using or trying to use something.
Hooray, it
with
worked.
2020 partly as a mechanism to try
Maybe.
to get the SAVE Act.
As we mentioned, it's Senate action pending on
But, like, it
that,
wouldn't let
so
me
even if the Senate does
So, like,
take action,
that was
the
really
idea
weird.
whether this would be able to be implemented before the 2026 election is very much a question. One that was taken up by Congressman Tom Tillis on the Senate floor. This is from earlier today.
The election is going to be held on the second Tuesday of November, right? We're August,
Testing.
September, October, right? So we have fewer than, let's just call it 100 days before the election. You're telling me that whatever proposal is being considered in the House can come and get done in the House, which it hasn't done, come to the Senate, get
Cool.
ratified.
It works. I think
come to
I'm
the Senate,
I'm
get
here.
passed, go to the president's desk. Let's say all that. Let's just say a miracle occurred. We
All right,
can
if
take
anyone
that
is in the
crock pot, put it in the microwave,
in the
we get it
chat,
done in 2 weeks, right?
let me know if you can hear me.
Okay, well,
Let me know if you
2
can
weeks
hear
from
the
now happens
background,
to be about the
audio.
first week of August, so that would be August, September, October. 3 months
Share.
to implement. 3 months after ratification to implement complex voter ID policy that is
Bada bing.
generally administered at the state level in time for this election. Well, it can't be implemented on day one, right? South Dakota
You found it. Okay, cool.
actually starts voting 46 days before the
I'll have
election.
both,
Number one, you gotta go
obviously
back
both
and tell
chats
these
open.
10,000 different entities. We don't know what the timing is. We got to implement this stuff. So your early voting, your absentee ballot voting, the people that request.
But there is a
ballots,
YouTube chat,
military members overseas
if
that
you wanna chat
actually
over
get
there.
teed up
That's
with
totally
the
cool.
current laws, that's all off the books. And we're going to get you something new in 60 days. Folks, I've done implementation work. The math doesn't work.
I don't know what we're watching right now, if I'm being completely honest. This is just the whatever live stream is on before the speech.
Supreme Court can do basic math. It can't be done. It can't be a serious effort. And if it is a serious effort, I would suggest that they engage somebody who's actually
Do I have
implemented
emotes in
it
here?
before,
Oh my gosh.
instead of assuming that they can, because they simply can't. And so when I have
I don't know what
somebody
that was
put
I
a
just put in there.
microphone up in my face and say, why are you against voter ID? I'd say, first, do your homework. I ratified it. I fulfilled a promise. We have solid elections in North Carolina. I'm against it because people are selling you a bill of goods.
What are they showing this for? What is the context
About
here?
100 days until the election. What does the White House say to that point? Do they think that the SAVE Act, if it were passed, could be implemented before the election?
They appear to do so. I mean, certainly at times when the president has spoken so forcefully about his desire to have it passed, the implication, at least, is that it could be implemented. Now, is that the reality?
I didn't share this on
Senator
Threads or
Tillis there
anything.
was raising some of the misgivings. There are a whole host of practical issues that would have to swing into action.
Someone did in
right away.
one of our
It
chats,
seems
though.
on its face unlikely,
Giving a little bit more
even
context
without
into
getting
the
into whole bigger topic
China
of whether a citizenship test,
implications
which is part
of
the SAVE Act, would
whatever
in
this is.
fact block genuine American citizens erroneously. You're probably aware there's a whole debate about a law that was passed in Kansas about a decade ago, where they had a citizenship test.
And also, if
about
it's easier, if
30,000
it's
people
easiest
who
for
were
you, I'm
eligible
gonna try to
vote
respond to the
were blocked.
actually respond to the
So
comments from the
those
YouTube
that
chat.
were,
I have other chats open, but some of them are not like public spaces, so I'm not gonna like directly respond on video to those chats. But if you do wanna like
Douglas, what are you expecting?
talk to me directly during this, you can go into the YouTube chat. It's pretty easy to. to get in there, I think. I don't know. I think I don't think have I ever streamed on YouTube? I don't even know. I think I did a long time ago, but it was very different.
You know,
It's quite confusing,
sad. I think
if I'm
this
being
whole-
completely honest.
whole presidency,
Super
this
curious
whole
about the
Trump
China thing. Yeah, me too.
administration is sad,
From what I
embarrassing,
understand, he's gonna say that China.
fraudulent. It's just terrible.
Let me turn this down a little
he
bit
wants
while
to
they're
do a
yapping.
speech
Oh my lord!
An election
Thank you, Melissa, for subscribing.
it's been proven that it was,
I will
it was fake.
potentially turn those off. I think I can go mute them during the speech.
That we have, as a
Not that you need to focus or concentrate on what Orange is saying, but that's kind of loud.
But now he's the richest one, and us regular people that work, that go to school, that raise children, that don't have.
But Anna, the worry on my part is the implications of, from what I'm seeing, them saying that the fraud that was committed was essentially in favor of the Democrats. So they're going to try to discredit the election of those duly elected, mind you, Democratic senators from Georgia and say that, well, there was fraud, so Republicans were fine. That wasn't part of the fraud. It was the Democrats, obviously. I don't know how he gets around that conversation, genuinely. I don't know. It's always curious. It's like a mystery. You know? Also, I hear alerts going off. I don't know what y'all are doing.
That, I think, is a vital question. I mean, Cora, I don't think is his target.
But I'm going to save the sound settings of... Bada-bing! Yourself. There we go. That would be very curious if someone was in D.C. in this chat. I don't know about any of the others. Hold on.
The question is, can he reach people who are not already in his MAGA camp?
Mutant. That'd be funny. Sorry, I almost responded to something I just said I wasn't going to do.
Some more moderate Republicans expressed is that the concentration on election.
You just can't keep track of how he feels about China. I know. China. It's going to drive me absolutely batshit insane. The way that he's going to say that word tonight, by the way. It's probably going to happen like 400 times. What's this guy saying?
We were talking earlier about the fact that that might get a mention.
Also, let me know if that's a good volume
sort of a
versus
mention.
my voice ratio.
So then we get back to the question that we started with. Who is the target audience for
also,
this?
sorry about the whatever the hell's going on outside.
Ginning up and energizing the most fervent of the president's supporters.
The base activation.
Yes, exactly.
11 minutes.
You know, can be important to the electorate.
But I don't believe it will be 11 minutes because he will be late.
From past presidencies also that it is not always as easy for a president to get his supporters out if he is not on the ballot, which by definition he isn't in the midterm election. So there could be some element
with
of
that.
Just trying to rev up the base.
You don't know why you're so nervous? I don't know why I'm so nervous
the
either.
First state. This is Elijah in Delaware. It's Camden, Wyoming,
Unfortunate
Delaware,
realization about what's about to happen, probably.
Elijah, go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. Not so even so much an independent.
You know when, like, have you ever? This is obviously a personal experience because I would hope that not a lot of you have seen real ICE agents in real life. But it's kind of one of those situations where, like, it's obviously a difficult situation to report on and have to watch the news and see ICE murders happening and all that stuff. But, like, it's weird to say, but it becomes a whole different realization when you see it in person, if that makes sense. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So it's like, in this scenario, we've all kind of been saying the quiet part out loud about the midterms and him trying to potentially, you know, steal the midterms, whatever you want to call it. But this is it. This is probably the first step in a really shitty direction for, you know, this type of authoritarian movement. It's a turning point, really is. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of those. And here we are, you know, so I don't know.
We couldn't prevent this from happening.
I also apologize in advance if there's not as much optimism in my vocabulary tonight.
You know,
but I'll do my best.
20 minutes, you know, to get his introductions, and if he starts just airing his grievances.
Raising Benz, there is many things we are, but not alone is definitely one of them.
Elijah in Delaware.
Turn his up slightly. The audio from the video, sure.
It could just be a 20-minute address from the president. The president is not
20 minutes, please, because I'm going to order pizza tonight, folks.
Forth with, and he
do you feel me?
Doing that. So is that a sign that this likely is going
Hopefully
to be
I won't be too
shorter
nauseous
address?
to even eat after this.
I think so. I also know from having covered the president for about a decade that predicting what he's going to do in any situation is a fool's errand.
Back to my point earlier is like
to get back to a
watching
point we raised earlier
watching
about the
this
networks and
happen,
whether
like
they decide to
actually,
broadcast it and carry it live. One of their
not to sound
calculations
naive,
is how
but
long
you
it's
know,
gonna last for,
there's a lot
right?
of people that
These,
have seen all of
addresses
this
that
coming
typically break into
for
network
miles,
broadcast
for
coverage tend
months,
to be
for
placed
years.
because the networks don't want their
Hell, for the
whole
last
night
decade.
consumed by a president
And this
talking
is
down
But
the
when
line.
things said thing happens, it still sucks,
Exactly. So,
right? And it's still
you know,
hard to like
typically
actually
15
come to
minutes would
terms
not
with
be,
what's
unusual
happening,
for an
which
address of this
is
type.
kind of how I
Now,
felt
against that,
ever
the
since
president does like to
the
talk,
election.
and
Yeah,
he has been billing this.
I was
in
just
advance
literally
as,
talking
very
with my
big
partner. We were
news,
talking
whatever
about
the exact quote was we
how
read
we
at the
don't
start.
remember the
So
last
he may
time
go
we
longer,
felt
but I
like
don't envision this being
literal
a
mourning.
Trump rally type speech that can go an hour
Like,
or 70 or 80 minutes.
the
We're
week
about
after
8
the
minutes away
2024 election
from
was the
President speaking
hardest
from
week
the
of
White
work I've
House.
ever
As we
had in my
said,
life.
This
Because I worked
topic, this
in,
speech tonight, very much the topic on Capitol Hill
like,
today. as
customer-facing
questions swirled about
customer
what the president
service,
will say, what
and
this
I live in
evidence
Seattle,
is.
so obviously
Wanna show
it's
one more. This is the
a
Senate,
pretty
Senate
blue and
Minority
progressive
Leader
area,
Chuck
so
Schumer
everyone was
from the Senate
like,
floor
it was
today.
intense. It was like
Donald Trump's election
everyone's
speech tonight is
favorite,
not about the
like,
election
pet had
Trump
just passed
lost
away.
6 years ago. It is a threat against the election he is afraid to lose this November.
Susan,
Trump
you're
may
welcome for
control the
this.
microphone
Thank you for
tonight,
being here.
But he will not control
And
the verdict
Pink, to you as well.
in November. The voters will have the last
Like I said, we may
word,
be many things, folks, but
and
alone
Senate
we are not
Democrats
that.
will rebut Trump's lies every
Let me just
day.
say, let me make this for a second, say something
We'll
very
fight
important
like hell.
that you all need to, I'm going to look directly at the camera while I say this too. Like, there are way more of us than there are of them. And I know some people don't like to hear that. Well, why didn't they vote? Because they didn't fucking vote. Yeah, that's on them. But in reality, there's way more of us than there are of them. I hope y'all know that.
For 6 years.
Why the fuck is Chuck Schumer on my screen
Donald?
right now?
You've been trying this shtick for 6
Help me.
years. Only your little coterie of sick of
Literal wasabi, help me.
lies. No one else.
Oh, Rebecca
You
just
can
ordered
say
sushi.
tonight, Trump, you can say it tonight.
Let's get some sushi
You
hype
can
in the
say
chat.
it tomorrow. You can say it every night till election.
How
No
is pizza
one
in? Sorry,
believes
I'm
you.
not used to having people in chat, so I'm missing messages.
election was not
How is pizza in
stolen.
Seattle? It's actually pretty good.
Trump keeps chasing his
It's not New
tail,
York City, but there's a
going
place
round and round and round
here in Seattle
circles
called
so
Big
many times
Mario's
he's
that's
left a
like
rut
the
in
most
ground.
decent good
Every
pizza,
time he
but it's
tells
like
a lie,
nothing to
he
write
digs
home about,
himself
but it's like
deeper into
good
the
New
hole.
York style ish pizza.
Trump's fixation on
We
these
order it, like, at least
conspiracy
once a week.
theories reeks of desperation.
Support
Now,
local business.
Schumer, today, we're going to hear after
Also pizza.
this address tonight from
New York
another
City pizza is
Democratic
trash,
member of
banned. No,
Congress,
I'm just
Joseph
kidding.
Borelli,
But also, what do you
Democrat from New
mean?
York, member of the House Administration Committee, which oversees
I didn't know you
election
came in
issues
here
the
wanting to
House.
have a
The
have
question
a
is about
have a
Democrats'
fight.
strategy coming out of
I'm just
this.
kidding.
What are your thoughts on?
I've
on
never
how they
fought
did
in my
this
life.
today and what's going to happen over the course of the next 24, 48 hours, however long.
New
this
Haven
debate
Pizza is
goes
where it's
for, how
at.
long
If
the
you're
story
ever
has
out
legs,
here,
as
my
they
treat.
say.
Yeah, my thought is that there
Sick.
is a dichotomy.
I don't know
in
where
how
you're from.
Democrats look at this. On one hand,
You want some sushi?
I think they are genuinely.
Also, please don't cancel me. I'm
upset,
drinking a Pepsi.
concerned,
Like,
worried
please don't cancel
about
me.
Undermining of public confidence in
I came home
elections,
today,
false claims being
and
made.
listen, my drug of choice is Coca-Cola.
Infusion of
Okay.
toxicity into the
Pry it
American
out of my
political bloodstream.
hands.
On the flip side, I don't think they
Like, I
strategically
love
mind
Coca-Cola. It's like my
talking
comfort
about this
thing.
because
I know it's
think
bad for
they
me.
take the view
It is what it is, but
not
I
particularly effective.
They did
that
not
it's
have
not
Coca-Cola.
effective beyond his base.
And, like,
that
I
it
was like,
revs up
I
their base as well as
have a couple
Trump's
days
own,
off.
and
I
that
wanna- like,
people
I
in
need
the
soda.
middle are turned off by it. Now,
So please don't
may or may
don't
not
cancel
be a
me.
correct
This is for my
calculation,
mental
but
health. I
think
promise.
that is
I'll never do it
broadly
again.
how Democrats
Are we?
view it.
Because we're
Time for just a few
we're
more
still mad
calls.
at
A few
Pepsi
minutes
because of
here
that,
before
right?
the
Because I'm pretty
president
sure
is
that was
supposed-
insane.
Supposed to make his address from the White House. We've been joined by Niall Stanage of the Hill newspaper.
4 minutes, folks.
In this hour, you can read his column on the
Or
White House.
40, depending on Trump
thehill.com.
time.
Also, you can give him a follow at.
He's probably
Niall
eating
Stanage.
McDonald's.
It's Niall Stanage, Stanage, just so
Very
folks
good.
can get it.
Excellent.
Ben in Plano, Texas, Republican. Thank you
Seattle,
for waiting. What are you expecting in the next couple
Banging
minutes here?
sushi.
Evening, John. I'm expecting them to finally.
Lake City, we haven't really.
It has been a long 6 years.
Lake City it up very much.
We're going to be justified.
40 years running's wild. That's awesome.
He's a bad fantasy football commissioner.
Great place to get fish.
Okay, that's in Texas.
Could be worse. Could be like
California.
Ohio.
It's the first time that's
no
happened.
offense.
Claremont, California.
I'll never forget. I was a barista when I lived in Michigan,
definitely watching tonight.
And I got to Elton Brown is from the Food Network. He's great dude. Did the show called Good Eats on the Food Network. Anyways, he was doing a show in our small town and came into our coffee shop, and I made him some drinks and stuff. And someone asked him about food or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, like what should I get around here?" And someone told him to go to a sushi place.
Now, Stanage, that point has been made by others.
No, it has.
Like, I lived in Michigan.
That he lost
and he
as
laughed.
The incumbent. That's
he's like, where the hell do I find sushi around here?
Pat is making
and that he has no argument about the 2024 election. Caroline Leavitt was asked that today at the White House press briefing.
But he loved my coffee so much that he asked for a second one. So
that there was any impropriety in the election.
Yeah, which
we'll tell that story to everybody. By the way,
it seems to me a pretty weak.
Listen, he was a host of Iron Chef America, Food Network star, own TV show, saying that I made him a good enough coffee for him to demand another one.
Trump won legitimately, and that was honored. I mean, I don't really.
I mean, I can't be really bad at making coffee, I guess.
I'm not sure how that makes logical sense.
All right.
To Jerry, independent from Arizona. Thanks for waiting.
Independent from Arizona. Let's hear this.
Gary, go ahead. About 2 minutes till the president speaks.
Yeah,
is he actually going to be on time?
Say thank you for letting me talk.
He was cool, by the way. Yes.
I believe that
one of the coolest celebrities I've ever had an interaction with. Genuine human being, very nice.
Boy that was never loved.
Yeah.
When he was young. He's never had
zero bad things to say.
He's, I feel there is so many things going on in that White House that really need to be investigated. Like really investigated. I feel it's been put out in front of our
I can't
eyes,
type, folks.
Everything that's going on. I understand, people have
a
different opinion on things.
How many fingers does it take for me to type?
You
should have pre-gamed this.
Playing into all that for them.
You should have.
I believe that we're dealing with a very dangerous man. I feel that
I may have, but I don't drink alcohol, and I also don't do drugs. So,
in my opinion,
make up your own.
I worry that it could get ugly. It got ugly on January 6th, and here we got
Guy Fieri's mean. Well, that makes sense because he's like buddies with Trump. Did you know that?
And I just feel our nation is really in trouble, and I'm
glad you just mentioned us outnumbering them because you get overwhelmed with anxiety. Yeah, no, we totally do.
I just think more
when push comes to shove. Now they do have the control of the United States military.
Any election is going to be looked into. I believe it should be.
Do they?
I find it very suspicious that.
That is a open-ended question, I think.
Him and Johnson
what do they have control?
Speaking about something at the podium. And Trump looked at Johnson.
Yeah, I'm sorry to break that news to you. It was a bummer for us too, dude. Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives was like our comfort show.
Final thoughts heading into this.
All right, y'all.
Well, I think that the danger in this address is that it's going to fuel some of the divisions that many of our callers have talked about, especially if there are inflammatory claims made with not very much evidence to support them.
That's going to be the whole thing.
The president will have a bombshell.
Inflammatory claims with no evidence.
Compelling evidence, but this is going to be how it goes.
Now, Stanage,
also, thank you all for being here.
At the White House.
Here we go.
Good evening. Before we begin,
he sounds like shit.
That our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before.
Sorry.
We are doing great. Less than 2 years ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster. After the worst inflation in 48 years, the wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including criminals of all types, and 11,888 murderers, many of whom killed more than one person. We
That's
had
bullshit.
Transgender for everybody.
What the fuck?
Men and women's sports, crime ravaging our cities,
Raising, here's my hand.
The world was laughing at us as a nation.
No, they are right now.
Is what? 2 years ago, our country was dead.
Shut up.
Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Yeah, literally, because the climate is, anyways.
Respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before. This week it was announced that inflation saw the largest
Why is he doing a
decline
pimp up of the country right now? Like, what is happening?
Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars. Like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car, but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job-creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years.
Love seeing all the love in the chat.
Actually say of all time. And your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history.
Oh, he's 100% reading a prompter. This sounds insanely horrible, but
price for prescription drugs anywhere in the world. Now we pay the lowest price under
he'll
my
go off
most
prompter here soon. Don't worry.
nation's policy, because I was able to get the rest of the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%.
Where?
TrumpRx.gov. This will ultimately reduce the cost of health care. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it. But the costs of health care.
Someone on Threads just said, if your president doesn't respect the results of an election, you don't have
one.
one.
And with Trump accounts, every child in America now has access to a tax-free investment account to save for their future.
That was Bradley Thor, by the way, if you want to go follow Bradley.
Invested, put in by companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18 they will have
I'm not being
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Has he gained weight? Is he bloated as fuck?
Start in life. So for that, go to TrumpAccounts.gov and sign up your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into
okay, so he is
most
bloated, like
in the history of our country, with zero illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is zero. Nobody thought it was possible.
Anna, we need you.
We had the worst border.
Anna, you're a medical person, correct?
Now we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide, with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900, or more than 125 years ago. We're making a record investment in our armed forces.
Holy shit, did you just do math?
The longest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world. I built it during my first term, and unfortunately,
he built the U.S. military.
Use it now. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed.
Oh, shit.
Because no country can be great without fair and honest elections.
I'm gonna throw up.
You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust.
What the fuck?
No greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure. One where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes and really exposes like levels never thought possible to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our
hold steady, folks. Don't
agency chiefs,
breathe.
Who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out.
Oh, I will, Orange.
Disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare.
But that's not even what he was claiming fraud in the first time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exploitation unit specifically to this new
that doesn't even make any sense.
Compounding
He's going to start a fucking war with China
set of documents we are
over this shit. I'm not even kidding.
Reveals that members of the deep state, very, very famous group of people, in many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying this is the most secure election in the history of our country. A standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign.
So now he's going to say that he deserves another one.
They just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it Donald Trump to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the
Yeah,
United
that's a great
States
question.
was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job, and they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by
Crazy
the
they did.
CIA, the strategy
He is.
included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the President of the United States of America.
Dude, he's literally going to say the whole world was against this
to
guy.
identify U.S. journalists who had
Worldwide witch hunt.
reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said. The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is because they knew I was wise to them, charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world. These are
I don't believe
exact
that
quotes
anymore.
from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that
Didn't say
China's
anything about
activities
John Ossoff
even
and
included an attempt to manufacture illegal
Warnock
ballots
yet.
for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official
It's about the
inside
only thing that I
FBI
potentially
wrote
believe.
that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh, for
to be
fuck's
burned.
sake.
It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that were supposed to burn the bag. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems. Dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised.
No, every single
People
court
within
case
our government knew
relating
that.
to the 2020
We're
election,
publishing
they found
a series
nothing.
of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it, made by supposedly great patriots of our country.
So you can't say shit like that and then say it was supposedly said by somebody. What the fuck?
that centralized election-related data repositories, such as
an
voter
aneurysm.
registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings, and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Don't you use that word, you son of a bitch.
Whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these
So he's
terrible
proving
machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020, and that's what they did.
Yeah,
This
I'm seeing on
reporting
Threads that
included
the
precise
website's
details
completely
about
down. None of that
methods to
information is on the website
regime
currently.
developed to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went.
So this motherfucker's
This
proving.
intelligence underscores
He's telling
why
us how
we
he did
must
it.
take urgent action to ensure that our own system can
Thanks,
never,
bud.
ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past. The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence
Yep.
of fraud has been detected,
And the Epstein
it has
files are
been
back in the
buried
news. You
and
got to
covered
yap
up.
about this shit.
Among the
Because he knows it's going to be the
disclosures
headlines
tonight
for
are
the next 3
FBI
weeks. But
files
what we're going to do after
detailing
this is we're going to
evidence
go
of
on the
alleged
internet,
fraud
folks,
by
and
a
we're going to
large-scale
demand the
voter
release of the Epstein
registration
files.
operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State
Right?
Police
Thumbs up
raided
in chat,
a
please.
Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon.
A Democratic get
They were
out the
so
vote
concerned
operation.
By what they found, they were just so concerned,
Corrupt
they couldn't
group.
believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some
Corrupt.
canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist.
Do you think
and
hundreds
received
and thousands
gift
of people
cards
did that?
tied to their number of applications that they produced.
He's so dumb. I love all
In
those
other
thumbs up,
words,
by the way.
It was
I'll
pay,
retweet or
play,
retweet. Jesus
and
Christ.
cheat.
Repost them all.
The FBI agents
on Threads.
working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to
He
work
really
with
is,
the
Rebecca.
Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files,
Oh,
the
here we
real
go.
number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered
He
to
sure
vote.
is.
Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed active on the voter rolls. And yet we still
Jeez,
have
dude.
elections with no voter ID.
It's so
no
broken.
proof
It
of
only happened. Yep,
citizenship,
exactly. Just that
and
one
tens of
election in
millions
between
of
those, you know.
dollars floating aimlessly through the
Jesus.
mail. As
Hundreds
one
of millions
example
with a
of the
population of
insanity,
340
California's
million.
recent
Yeah.
election for mayor of LA and governor
Jesus Christ. Oh,
was held on June 2nd, long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month. Took
Yeah.
a month to count the votes. I wonder what
Sure
they
does.
were doing.
Counting
this
them.
is worse than any
The fuck?
third world country. There's no
what
third world country that has elections like we have.
This is how it's been done for like
NBC
since I fucking
and
voted,
ABC
dude.
Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what
Good.
it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is, and they don't
No,
want
it's
to
because
reveal
they know
it.
it's bullshit.
They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a
That's us. We just got
great
shout out.
country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without
High five.
free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value.
I told you all on Threads that he was going to go directly after ABC. He's going to get them off the air because they didn't want to fucking
They pay nothing for
put that on the TV.
$multi-billion-dollar.
He's using a presidential address right now to bully the media for not having this speech on TV.
Our elections were left
A
vulnerable.
primetime presidential address.
And the trust
Yo.
of the American people was lost.
Jesus Christ. Thank you,
This
Gene, but
cannot
that
be
scared the
allowed to
shit out of me.
continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent,
What do you think MAGA's
or
numbers
otherwise,
are?
should be able
Higher
to
than they
agree
should
that
be.
We deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections
being honest.
should be a partisan, really. Should
But I
just
think they
we
have
should be
gone down
together. Democrats,
since the 2024
Republicans,
election, but I don't fucking know
independents,
anything
everybody.
anymore.
And it should not be a partisan issue. It should
Thank you for
cause
coming to my
to
political
unite us,
commentary. I do
not
not know a
divide us.
thing.
This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that
What, are you gonna send the military?
data is better protected, so we
gonna
can
send
never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again. Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They
He's
are
not taking
bad.
it as far as I thought he
We're in
would,
the
I'll be honest with
process of
y'all.
Informing governors, senators, and members of Congress
Not to
of
downplay,
potential
but
issues in their states.
he's just fucking rambling
You look
about
at
shit.
voting today, it's in such bad shape in so many states, and we are committing to fix it. And we're also committing to be working with those states and local jurisdictions to help them fix and patch known technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections.
I know,
We
it's
have
not over yet.
Very important elections
know.
coming up. We want those elections to be honest. I've also ordered DHS
That
to
was
notify
fucking-
every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all
Did that not sound
ineligible voters from the
omnibus?
lists immediately. But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress
I really hope y'all didn't hear my knee
must
just
pass
crack.
the
That's embarrassing.
Save America Act.
Not gonna happen. Nope.
How easy is that to do
not
unless
gonna
you
happen.
want to cheat?
Whoa.
The only reason you wouldn't do
That's
it
not
is
how
you
democracy
want to
works.
cheat because your
Orange
policies are so
turd.
bad.
It's because it's
And your
bad policy.
candidates are so pathetic
That's
that
politics.
You can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo, voter
He did say the
ID. How
Communist
simple is that?
Party of
Can I
China. I
have your
will.
Photo, please. Photo, voter ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt
Jesus.
mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many
Pup,
other
thank you.
places, mail-in ballots are
I'll turn that down the
inherently
next time I do this, I
corrupt.
promise.
So you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness,
No, I know what you meant.
military
Raising, I know what you meant.
deployment,
I was just saying he did
travel
say the
if
word
you're
though.
going away on
I thought he
business
was. That's
or
where he was going with it.
vacation. These reforms are urgent.
Sorry, I don't mind talking over him, by the way. He's literally fucking rambling.
I've mentioned. To all Americans, I ask you to pick up
Shut
the
up.
phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate, and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay.
Nope.
Together, we will restore faith and confidence.
So was
in our
this
country.
maybe
And
just
we will
a
be
like
bigger,
rallying
better,
call?
and stronger than
Hear me out.
ever
I think this is gonna be
before.
over. Give me a second.
Thank
then
you.
we'll talk. Yep,
God
that's
bless
it.
you. God bless our great military, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Look at him. Look at him. Look at it.
That was President Trump from
Dude,
the White House. He wins
the only good thing about being, like, literally the only good thing about Trump being here right now is we've been able to watch him, like, deteriorate. You got a bingo? So here's my take on this real quick. Okay, and we'll hang out here and chat for a little bit longer. And I'm going to go get some pizza because I'm hungry as hell. And I'm not nauseous to where I think I'm going to throw up. My guess is this was a rallying call to get Congress to pass the SAVE Act. Because I don't know if any of you are very aware with the SAVE Act itself. If you're not super aware of it, go read it and what it entails and what it would do to our elections. And that will kind of give you an idea of why I think it's so important. Because I think he thought this was going to pass. I don't know about all of you, but I'm pretty confident he thought it was going to pass. So this is a rallying cry, and then you're going to see members on the Republican side of the aisle are probably going to go tonight, tomorrow, point to this like legitimately bullshit evidence that they have and say, see, it's going to he gave them, the Republicans, a scapegoat, right? He gave them a reason for them to go back to their constituents that are calling into them saying, don't pass the SAVE Act, it's blah, blah, blah. Well, now that he has something, you can go back and say, well, the president orders us. I think that's what he said, right? Or demands that we do this. So that's what that is, I think. And sowing seeds of doubt. Of course, he is definitely testing the waters when it comes to setting up future elections for his own interference, right? Because they have to protect the integrity of the election. This was definitely a really shitty moment, but it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be because he was just rambling. I don't think... Did it just end? Yeah, that shit's done. That was what was it? 20, not even a half hour? Actually shocked he was on time, too, by the way. But, yeah, it was really a nothing burger, honestly. And I don't say that because what he was saying wasn't serious, because it was. But he didn't provide any context, information, or proof. The website is still down. Whitehouse.org. I don't know why am I on Mastodon? Like, what is happening? What? The White House. Address to the nation. Address to the nation. Cool. Where's the shit that you were saying? Where's it? Yeah, I don't see anything. Dude, this website is so cringe. What if I click on the thing? Is the stuff under it? Where? You're in Alabama, the cult is huge there? Yeah. I don't know where the information is that he was saying that there was. Oh, here we go. Election integrity. The address. Documents. Okay, what are these documents? It's a zip file? Jesus Christ. I'm not going to put you through this, but yeah, there are files up here. I don't know if they're Michigan voter registration investigation, non-citizens voter rolls. Okay. I don't know. So yeah, that's the thing. The SAVE Act is election interference. It sure is. It sure is. It sure is. I'm so happy we got through this together. Yeah, that was a lot less brutal than I thought it was going to be. You don't even need a Xanax? Same. So what do you think Billy Bob is going to talk about tomorrow? No, I don't know. Yeah, I almost guarantee if you look at this, like right here, the way that it's like set up, like look at this, like the pillars with the way, look at the font on documents. Like, I don't know, have you used AI before? Like Claude or like ChatGPT or like what's the Google one? That's like how it sets that shit up. Even like the little animations and shit. I don't know, man. This whole site looks like it was fucking made with AI. So I don't know. They say a time for what tomorrow? What tomorrow? What am I missing? Anyways, thank you all, by the way, for being here. I don't know. Should I do this more often? You tell me. Everything is artificial in the land. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. What if we just start by streaming every Thursday for like an hour or two? Regardless of what's happening in the news, we can just, go over. I'm working on a new series for my blog that's called The Thread Count, and I kind of take all of the top things that I posted, like the top engagement on like what I've posted on Threads, and I go over like the top 5 things and kind of like deep dive a little bit into them. So in coordination with that, which is actually it's completely shameful, I'm so sorry, you should go subscribe to the Substack. But on top of that, we could also do like a live version of that, of the Thread Count, where we could hang out here every Thursday for like an hour or however long it takes or whatever, where we can, go through this shit together, process it, talk about it in a way that's not like on CNN, because, yeah, it was super good for your mental health. I'm glad. Same, actually. Cool, let's do it. Y'all, you are literally the OG group of Thursday viewers for whatever the hell this is. So welcome. Thanks for being here. Honestly, thank you for listening to him talk with me, because I know that, it's like listening to nails on a chalkboard. So you're alone too? No, you're not. Hi, I'm Sean. Nice to meet you. I'm here if you need me. You're never alone. But yes, I'm going to go get some pizza now. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you all on Threads. If you would like, I'm just going to say this publicly. I do vet everyone before I let it in. I do have a private community that I just created recently that is turning out to be really good for people on Signal. So if you want to, you can DM me on Threads and just let me know, I'd love to be part of a Signal chat to just chat and hang out with like-minded people to kind of get through this and talk about everything in a private space where it makes you feel safe. All that kind of thing. DM me on Threads if you want into that. That'll kind of be where I'll bop into, and I keep in touch with y'all when I'm not doing this. So, yeah. And obviously go follow me on Threads and everything else. And there's a lot of elections and shit going on right now. This man didn't come on tonight and dismantle our entire election system. Keep in mind, he says shit. Lots of shit. But that doesn't mean that it's law. Okay? We have elections. They're happening right now. We just got a ballot in the mail here in Seattle. We have primary elections coming up. Okay? We have midterms coming up. Look me in the eye and tell me, Sean, I'm going to lock in. Okay? Do a phone bank. Do something. Go share a video on social media. It literally doesn't matter. Every little bit is enough. But do something. Okay? I love y'all. See you on Threads. And then, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. What do you think? I will bring the coffee. And I promise next time I will not have Pepsi. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Power to the people.